Mental Health Day, and I've got some very special guests in the studio this morning. I'll swing the mic your way. Good morning to you, sir, and good morning to you, madam. Good to see you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy World Mental Health Day.
Same to you, same to you.
Good to see you this morning, and you guys are doing something very incredible for World Mental Health Day. And I've got in the studio Madam Anita Solomon. She's a member of the Zen Riders and also the founder of Zen Riders, Mr. Michael Amankwa. Good morning again to you two. Riding for mental health. Is that what it is? Riding for exercise, for mental health, for pleasure?
It's all of them, all of the above.
All of the above. And how long ago was the Zen Riding Club put together?
I think it was 6 months ago.
Okay, so you're new kids on the block.
Very fresh.
Fresh. So 6 months ago. And have you both been keen riders, avid riders this whole time? Or is this a new activity? Anita, I'll come to you.
I mean, I've been cycling, but I haven't cycled on this scale before. So
Okay.
I used to cycle for leisure, but I think this is a new level of cycling.
Okay. So you're not a newbie to the cycling world, but it's now been kicked up a notch.
Absolutely.
What about you, Esther? How long have you been
I would
cycling
say
for?
it's new. I mean, I know how to cycle as a boy, but I think that with the level of intensity now, I would say it's new.
Okay. And please get a bit closer to the mic on me. Feel free to adjust so we can hear you properly. Okay, so Zen Riders 6 months ago, what was the reason for setting it up? What was, the thinking behind it? How many members did it start off with? Give us a background.
So basically, it was established to help, keep fit.
Okay.
To take care of physical health, right? And we just didn't set it up as a typical cycling club, but it's a club that takes care of your well-being in totality. So your physical health, your mental health, your spirituality, and your emotions. So even though it's a cycling club, some of us swim, some of us play tennis, some of us do yoga.
Okay.
So it's just a holistic way of taking care of your health in general.
And when you set it up, did you put an open call out for anybody and everybody to join? Was it friends and family? Who makes up the Zen Riders?
It's just friends, it's just friends. I think it just started. I took it up first to, as a form to keep fit. And then a friend, Julius Richardson, joined. Then Anita joined. And then Pius, Hayford, and Enoch. So it's a small club.
Okay.
But it's basically just to help us live smart.
How much weight have you lost, Anita, since joining this? This Riders Club. I'm intrigued. I don't know whether I should go and dust out my bicycle.
I've lost a few kgs, but
Okay.
I don't think that was the motivation, to be fair. I do eat a lot, but it's actually helped me keep my weight in check as well. As Michael said, I just saw a post on Facebook saying, who wants to ride to Tamale with me? Something. That's how this whole dream was birthed. And I just reached out and said, I'll be interested in joining the group. So I just joined them.
All right. Well, we're also going to be joined, or we're already joined on Zoom. We have Kofi Ghana on Zoom, an alias we're using this morning. And I believe Kofi lives with bipolar. He lives with a bipolar disorder, and we'll be also interacting with Kofi to get some perspective on what it's like living with a mental condition, especially in our part of the world where we're still learning and still accepting some of these conditions that we're not too familiar with. Is Kofi already on the line? Hello, Kofi, good morning to you. Okay, we'll see if we can connect. Hello, Kofi? Hello, Kofi, can you hear me? Kofi, if you can unmute yourself for us, please, we would be grateful. But I'll carry on with the conversation in studio. Again, I've got Michael and Anita here. They're Zen Riders, fresh kids on the block, 6 months old, a few kgs lost, but the main ethos really on fortifying mind, body, spirit. And you're going to be embarking on a very long journey. You're going to be biking from Accra to Tamale. That hasn't already happened yet, has it? When is that slated for?
November 1st to the 11th.
November 1st to
The 11th.
the 11th. That's how long it'll take?
Yeah, so we're going to do Accra to Tamale and back in 10 days.
Okay, Accra to Tamale, Tamale back to Accra.
10 days.
Okay, wow. What is the reason? Why that route? Why Accra, Tamale? You could have just circled Accra a few times, called it a day, took a few photos. A very long distance. Talk to us about it.
I think when you have very audacious and crazy goals, it keeps you alive, it keeps you excited, it keeps you focused. So, a lot of times people want to stay fit, but they don't really have big goals that keeps them up, right? So they start and then they lose motivation and they stop. But we decided to do something that has not really been done before, but not just do it, but also use it as a means to educate people, entertain people, and inspire people. So everyday people like myself, who is an entrepreneur, Anita is a banker, we have Julius Richardson, who is a music teacher, we have Pius, who's an architect, and Enoch, who is a security guard. So these are just everyday people that you interact with on a daily basis, can actually conceive an idea and prepare for it. So we've been preparing for about 4 months now. Every morning, 4 a.m. we wake up, we go to Legon campus and we cycle for an hour. Thereafter, some of us will go and swim and do different kind of activities. But the motive really is to let people know that you can really have crazy goals and have a plan and put in the effort and you're likely to succeed. And that's what we want to demonstrate. So in the process, we'll also be not just entertaining people and inspiring them, but educating them on mental health, because there's no way you can do such a journey when you're not mentally sound.
That's right.
And the moment you keep exercising as well, it helps with your mental health.
That is true.
So we are just using a different innovative and novel approach in getting the message out, complementing what obviously the Mental Health Authority and other institutions and other organizations are doing. We are just using a more entertaining non-traditional approach.
That's very exciting. So it's also a knowledge sharing expedition, if you will, as you go from Accra to Anita, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
There was a little bit of hesitation there. And we'll definitely talk about what type of mental prep goes into preparing yourself for a journey like this. But I believe we have Kofi Ghana back on the line. Kofi, can you hear me, please? Hello, Kofi. Can you unmute? Can you hear me? I'm not sure if we are able to connect. Hello, Kofi. Okay, we'll keep trying to connect with Kofi so he can also share his story with us. A true testament to living a healthy, strong life despite what the mental health looks like. But why the connection then with mental health? Because we know people do these types of expeditions for different reasons, for different causes. Why is the mental health cause one that's dear to you?
I think largely, I personally believe that there are two things we need to aspire to have in life, which is whatever we do, we want to be successful at it, and most of all have peace of mind. You understand? And to have peace of mind, you have to do certain things to do that, which a lot of times we don't understand the value of having peace of mind. So going through such challenges affords you the opportunity to really take care of your mindset, which ultimately affects your mental health, right? So that's the angle in which we are coming from.
Have there been any times where, I'm sure like most people, where you've been in challenging spots, because of where your mental health has been? Has that also been a reason why you've been keen to advance this course? Anita, I'll also ask you the same question.
Yeah. I think everybody has had a bout of mental health episode one way or the other. Just that we think that mental health is about psychiatry, being crazy, being on the, being in a facility somewhere or naked on the street. But we all have had experiences. I've been an entrepreneur, and you know how it is as an entrepreneur. You have your ups and downs. If your relationships don't go well, you have part of all of those. And so we've all had episodes of it. Just that there are different degrees of experience. So I look at it and I've realized that anytime that I feel down and blue and blah, and I go out even just for a mere walk, I come back feeling a lot better. Right? So then how can we actually get people to realize that there are a lot of things you can do once you're mindful of it that can really help you cope and deal with whatever situations you find yourself in?
Anita, what about you?
Sure. Like Michael said, I think everybody's got mental health. Mental health is so key, and it runs through everybody. We just don't pay much attention to it. I had an episode of depression when I had my second child. I had what they call a postnatal depression, and my doctor really told me, do you exercise? And I had never exercised before. So
I see.
My son is 16 years, so I only started exercising after that. And I mean, I've tried everything. I've tried yoga, I've tried Pilates, I've tried walking, jogging, and it really helps. You know, I didn't have to go on any medication. I just sort of managed it with exercising. And so I thought, if people are aware of what their triggers are, you know, they can manage it. You know, it's all about the awareness. You know, before then, I had no clue about depression or mental health. So I think that was actually my motivation as well to join in this group. Definitely just to share the experience, just to make our people aware that, you know, we all have to take care of our mental health. It's so key to everything that we do.
Now, in terms of providing information as you make the journey from Accra to Tamale and back, who will be doing that? Will that be done by yourselves, or do you have some resource personnel who will be on the journey with you? How do you go about, spreading the word?
It comes in 3 forms. We have the pre-tour, that's before we start.
Okay.
So we go to different institutions, organizations, and then we talk to them about mental health.
Like we're doing now.
Like we're doing now, which is
Okay.
part of it. On Saturday, we're going to St. Augustine's College in Cape Coast to talk to the whole student body on,
Nice.
the mental health. And then during the tour, I'm a mental catalyst, so I'm going to have like 10 powerful speeches, different topics that, we put it out there. So on a daily basis, we're going to be releasing each one. It's about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then also we have experts who are also part of us. So they are practitioners in the mental health space. So they're also complementing what we are doing. So it's coming in different forms.
Okay. Now, the actual journey, where do you set off from? November 1st, I believe
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the starting point? Is it Anita? Hey, Anita, are you ready?
I think right now we are all beginning to realize that. Okay, I think
We've
this
beaten
task.
more.
Yeah, we're beating more.
Oh, I know the feeling. The longest type of endurance sports I've done is a half marathon.
Okay.
And I know the trepidation, as the time gets closer, but also the excitement because you're training for it, and it's wonderful. Once you're done, you can say, "I rode from Accra, Tamale to Accra." So starting point
And so on.
in Sawam.
Yes.
Okay.
But when we come back, we'll end at the Black Star Square.
Okay. Pause for me, please, Michael. Let me reconnect with Kofi. Kofi Ghana, hello, good morning. Hello, Kofi, are you able to hear me? Hello? Hello? Okay, I'm not too sure if this is on our end or on Kofi's end. Hello, can you hear us, Kofi?
Hello.
Okay, I think we can finally hear Kofi. Hello?
This is not Kofi. This is Papa Niawule.
Okay. Papa, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Okay, bear with me, Kofi. We'll park it just for a quick second and reconnect with Michael and Anita in the studio. So, starting point is
In Sawam.
in Sawam, and then it's 10 days. So then, what's the route like? Is it
So in
flexible or is it
Sawam,
mapped out?
Koko, Kumasi, Kintampo to Tamale, and then the rivers.
Okay, and then as you mentioned, as you go along the way, you'll be stopping for the various engagements. Okay, now for the physical side, what do you do to get ready for such a long journey? Has the diet changed?
Well, when the diet hasn't changed much. We're all still doing what we normally do.
Okay.
But the days that we have more intense training, we've been advised to eat banku and fufu at 3 a.m., which some people do and some don't. So I think that's primarily the difference, right? For someone like me, I'll do oats and eggs or something. But it's hard eating at that early part of the morning.
Okay.
Because you need energy when you're on the road training. You
Okay.
burn a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a prescribed routine that all of you riders are
Yeah.
in terms of the number of days for training, when to pause?
So we've been at it for 4 months. So when we start, would have been 5 months.
Okay.
So we wake up at 4, almost all of us, and then we get to the training grounds at 5, which is at the University of Ghana, Little Legon.
Okay.
And then we go there and then we train for like an hour.
Then there's few people that I've been seeing.
Yeah, definitely it's us.
Because I set off really early
It
in
is
the
us.
morning. Zero riders.
Yes,
Okay, no, you're very disciplined. They don't give me any wahala. I'm able to maneuver because I've got the pass. So I enter. It's you people. More grease to your elbows.
Almost every day we go at it.
And Anita, what about the mental side of psyching yourself up for all of this training? Has it been easy or?
I mean, up until last week, I didn't think I had thought about it the way I'm seeing it now. So it was just business as usual, just turning up for training. It's actually just dawned on me how serious this is. The past few weeks, past few days with all these engagements, and I just wake up and I'm like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into?
But you're still forging ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna go
We'll
ahead.
see you at...
You will see me.
So,
I'm doing it for all the ladies. I'm
yes.
the only woman on the trip as well. So
Oh, I see.
I also want to use it as an opportunity to encourage young girls to go for things that they want to,
Amazing.
especially in these parts of the world. We really have to show up, so I'm really doing this for young women, just to encourage them that, we can try anything we want if we put our minds to it.
Absolutely. And I'm sure for many moms that are listening to us this morning, hearing you share your story about postpartum depression, it's probably, resonating with some of the ladies that are listening to us. So again, more grease to your elbows. I think we can connect now again with Kofi on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Well, happy World Mental Health Day.
Thank you. And I'm happy that it's getting better, especially in Ghana.
Would you say that over the years it's not been as talked about or as prominent as you would like?
Over the year, there was a situation that I describe as very terrible. That was before the mental health bill was passed. After the mental health bill was passed, I think things got a bit better.
Hello?
Yes, so that's
Okay.
Sure.
Right. And we know that you're a person that's currently living with a particular mental health issue, if you will. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. I have lived with the bipolar mood disorder almost my whole life, right from the beginning till now. Yes, so I have been living with bipolar mood disorder.
Hello, sorry, Kofi, could you repeat that for me, please? The line is a little bit faint. If you could speak up for us a little bit.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Great. I was saying that I have been living with bipolar mood disorder for the most part of my life now.
And
right from till now.
Okay. And at what age were you diagnosed, and why was it necessary for you to get a diagnosis?
Right, I was diagnosed, I think, at the age of 16, because I was in SHS by that time. And what actually led to that was a pattern in my behavior that people didn't really understand. I think I didn't understand it myself. I was in secondary school, supposed to be a brilliant student, but I was never staying in class. I was always out of the class walking around because I could not just sit down to concentrate. And so, plus some other traits and behavior, maybe talking too much sometimes and withdrawing some other time. Yes, so actually it was the school that called for a diagnosis because I happened to be a brilliant student and not staying in class was a problem. So the school called for that, and the school got me as a psychiatrist. And then that is how I got to know that I had this.
And once you had been diagnosed with bipolar mood disorder, what was that like? The initial, let's say, days, weeks, and months after that, especially as a 16-year-old, did you fully grasp what was going on, what the condition was all about? Tell us about the initial stages.
I didn't, but I am an avid reader. So quickly, I had to, apart from the information that the doctors gave me, had to go and find a lot of literature on this illness so I can learn how to live with it. In the beginning, it was devastating. I didn't understand because I believe somehow that I was going insane. And so I had to be reassured several times that it is not insanity, it is a condition just like any other illness. And then when I got into reading a lot of literature about this particular illness, it allayed my fears. And the medication also helped to keep me a bit calm and to be able to stay in class and concentrate on other things as well.
What was the effect of the medication? And in fact, even before that, was it a case of medication and, for example, psychotherapy or just straight medication?
It was medication and psychotherapy. Initially, the medication disturbed me because comparatively, it made me very dumb. I'm using the word in inverted commas. I was no longer active as I used to be because in the beginning, it has to be, should I say, trial and error. They have to find out how I react to the medication and then check the dose that will go with me. So in the beginning, somebody who has been very, very active went from that stage to a very quiet stage, not active at all, and sort of weird in a way because those who know me would be like, what's happening to you? You're no longer talking, you're no longer active, you're sleeping. What's happening? So that was the effect, and that was how I felt until a balance was struck, and then I was given the right medication and the right dosage. And then it kept me in between being very quiet and being very, very loud. So that particular stage was what helped me to stay in class, concentrate more, and that's how it went.
Now, Kofi, for the uninitiated, when we talk about bipolar mood disorder, what exactly are we talking about? What is it?
We're talking about a mental illness that makes you behave sometimes as a person that you are not. Bi means two. So bipolar, you have sort of more than one personality. So today you may meet me and then I will be very lively with you. We'll have a discussion, very fruitful discussion. Tomorrow, the exact opposite. You see me sometimes very aggressive, and I don't really care what we spoke about the next day, the day before. So you have a split personality in a way, and that hurts.
How does that impact your relationships? And let's take it back to when you were in school. And I'm sure at that time we knew even less about mental health disorders. How did your colleagues at school, take to you? Did they change? And as you've gotten older in the workplace as well, how has that been?
Sorry, can you take it again?
Yes.
I didn't hear it.
All right, Kofi, are you able to hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yes. I wanted to find out, when you were initially diagnosed as a 16-year-old, what was the reaction of friends at the time? I know at that time we didn't know as much as we know now about mental health disorders, and especially about bipolar mood disorder. And then also, take us on a journey as you've grown older. What has the reception been in the workplace as far as friends and family is concerned?
My mates actually and friends didn't understand what was happening to me, and I didn't tell them because I didn't really even comprehend it fully. But my family knew about it, and my family were educated about it, and so I had a very strong support system. So unless you're very close to me or you have some information about this, my predicament, you actually not know what was happening to me. You don't know whether I had bipolar mood disorder or not. So that's helped me. So for friends, maybe it was way back, maybe after 20 years, that's when they really got to know that, okay, so because he was doing this and this, also that was why he was doing this, that was why he was doing that. Okay. But at that time, they didn't know, they didn't even understand. But my folks at home and my family support system, they understood and offered me a great support system, and that was what kept me through.
Did you lose friends along the way?
Did I do what?
Did you lose any friends along the way?
I think so. Because sometimes you would behave in a way that is contrary to who you really are. And so you may say some unkind words or maybe get aggressive, especially in the beginning when you don't even know how to take care of yourself. So a few of them would stay back for a while, but then because you know what you're going through, you have to go back and make amends and make peace. Yes, I did lose quite a few, but he's saying the disease or the illness or that condition operates on who you are at a particular time. So if you are aware of what is going to happen or what you're going through, it's sort of solve the problem by half. But if you do not accept it, that is when you have the problem, whole problem, 100%. Personally, I knew when I'm going to have an episode. It got to a time I got to know the symptoms of an episode, and then I'll go to take a drag and sleep, or not go to where I am going if maybe I'm traveling or going into the public. So with experience and reading and the support system and doctors, I was able to handle it as a normal thing. It was not the so fearful and fearful a condition that people talk about. Sometimes, a lot of times, if you really follow the rules and the rubrics, you live a normal life. Yes, once in a while you have an episode. I mean, like I said, if you know you're going to have an episode, there is something you can do, an antidote to it. Either you go sleep or you withdraw something. So then everybody will see that you are living a normal life, and probably you may be the only person and a few others in your family support system who may know that you're going through something like this. Don't forget, people are going through other forms of conditions. This is just one of them. It is just that this is a mental condition, And unfortunately, in our part of the world, people see that condition as totally different from the other conditions like malaria, like headache, like diabetes, like hypertension. It's like that. BP, for example, if you have high blood pressure, you'll be told that you're going to live with it for life. But then stay on your medication and everything will be cool. And so that is how it is. If you stay on your medication, take your exercise very seriously, and then you do your therapy regularly, it's just a normal thing. You live a normal life. If I tell you what I have been able to do as an integration in society, you will be surprised. You never know that I was living or I'm still living with this condition.
Well, time check, it is some 22 minutes past the hour of 8. You're still live here on 3FM Sunrise, on 3FM 92.7. It is World Mental Health Day. We're speaking with Kofi on the line, and he's a person living with a mental health condition. He's got bipolar mood disorder. I've also got in the studio Anita Solomon and Michael Amankwa. They're from the Zen Riders Club, and they're also going to be doing something incredible, all in a bid to educate us on mental health issues. Kofi, I'll come to you as we're wrapping up on this conversation. Why do you think the stigma as far as mental health issues are concerned is still so high? Because you talked about people living with high blood pressure, it could be cancer, any other type of illness. We are ready to, lend a helping hand, be a shoulder to cry on. But as soon as it's something along the lines of mental health, we recoil. If it's schizophrenia, bipolar mood disorder, whatever the case may be. Why do you think as a people we're not as forgiving or as empathetic when it comes to mental health issues?
First of all, I think it has to do with the behavioral change. Secondly, it has to do with the kind of education that we are having or we have. Look, a lot of the people who we aspire to be, who we admired in history, had a mental health condition. Shakespeare had a mental health condition. Alexander the Great had. If you've watched this movie, A Beautiful Mind, Nash, who won the Nobel Prize for mathematics, had a mental health condition. But because a lot of people do not know that these people have or had it, they take them as their role models. They want to be like them. Now, these people that I mentioned were able to make it because in their society, they were taught that mental health is just like any other illness, and then there is medication for it. But unfortunately, our part of the world, we see mental health illness as a very serious illness that is not supposed to be suffered by humans because of sometimes the spiritual attachment that we give to it. Anytime somebody starts suffering from mental illness, it is attributed most of the time in this part of the country, it is attributed to the spiritual world. And I know the fear of unknown, the fear of the unknown is actually attached to the spiritual world. And so then people start treating you in a different way altogether. That is one of the biggest problems we have here. So you have people suffering from mental health who could have been better if they attended hospitals, but they are taken to shrines and, excuse me, religious bigots who think that they know better when it comes to the mental health. And then they maltreat these people and lower them, dehumanize them. Because of this, there is a stigmatization. And it is not only on the mental health patients, on the minds of those who think that they are okay, they are not suffering from mental health. That is a problem that we have in this part of the world. If we are able to know, we are told to know and educated that it is just another form of illness, then we'll give our attention to looking for the solution physically other than spiritually. Of course, the spiritual plays a role when it comes to prayer and assurance. But don't forget that medication is very important here.
Absolutely. I'll come back in studio. And Kofi, please hold the line for me. Don't move an inch. I still have Michael and Anita here. I see you nodding furiously to some of the points that were made by Kofi. What is, resonating with you as we have this discussion? Anita, I know you were nodding along as well. You agree that the stigma is still there, and some of the ways we go about even talking about people with mental health conditions can be problematic. At least these days we don't see on the front page of the paper so and so runs mad.
Yeah.
So the language is changing. But what more do you think we could be doing? I mean, you guys are already embarking on a very great adventure to help us all learn a thing or two. But as a society, what should we be doing to be kinder? To do more?
So I think this year's theme is mental health is a human right. It is a human right for everyone. In these parts of the world, I think we've not been educated enough around mental health. There's a lot. When you think of mental health, the picture you see is like, excuse me to say, a mad woman or a madman walking on the road. But I think we need to start changing the mindset and try and educate people that mental health is key. It's just every one of us, is got a mental health. We just need to take care of it. And there are different varieties of mental health. Some are just depression. It comes in all sorts of forms. We just have to be educated and just like as Kofi said on the line, treat it as any other illness that can be cured. If you have pressure, you can take medication and you can live with it for the rest of your life. So the awareness that mental health is just another kind of disease that can be controlled if you know your triggers, if you take the right medication, if you embark on exercises and more education, So as we are doing, on this ride, like Michael said, we're just going to try and educate as many people as possible on the awareness of mental health, how, your triggers, how to prevent it, and just really to emphasize that every one of us has got a mental health that we need to take care of.
Absolutely. Michael. Kofi shared a lot with us this morning. What was resonating with you as he spoke?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a condition just like any other, situation that most people will find themselves in. I think the most important thing is the conversations. I mean, everybody needs to speak up. Everybody needs to try to learn about it on their own. A lot of times we are waiting for people to educate us, but these days there's a lot of resources out there on the internet all over the place. So let us all go and read about it, understand what it is, so we can better, live with people. Because at the end of the day, we all suffer bouts of mental health at one point or the other. If you are broke, you have conditions of it. If the sun is hot, you're walking on the road, those selling in traffic, they all have, depression, trauma. So it's all part of it. But I think we need collectively go out there and research and learn about it so we can better relate with one another.
I agree with that. We're all going through something, especially at a time like this when people are struggling to make ends meet and so on and so forth. It can greatly affect your mental health. And Kofi, are you still with us?
I am, and I agree perfectly with what they both said. You see, another word for anger is madness. Why do we say that? Because when we get angry, you move from the normal behavior to an abnormal one. So then you can see any person who gets very angry has sort of moved into a state of mental health. You understand? So everybody, in one way or the other, has suffered or suffers from mental health. When you get excessively angry, you are mad, actually. So if we understand it this way, then we'll look for the solutions which are very near us. And I think I agree with them 100%.
Well, the World Health Organization recommends that countries allocate some 15% of their health resources to mental health. Speaking with health experts in our part of the world, in Ghana specifically, I think we oscillate between sort of 1% to 2.2%. Could be a little bit more these days. I'll have to check on the updated numbers. From where you sit as a person living with bipolar mood disorder, what would you really like to see the state do as far as mental health is concerned? Because I'm sure because of these figures, we don't have enough resources, enough psychotherapists, enough medication. Have you felt that deficiency in your journey living with bipolar mood disorder?
Oh, yes. It was difficult getting medication because you have to buy medication, different types of medication. So somewhere in the course of this journey, medication was a problem. But you see, I had somebody from the Ghana, from the mental health, Ghana Health Foundation, who was then giving me free drugs.
Okay.
Now, and another part is that, you see, I was diagnosed very early in school by the school authorities. So if mental health is made part of the curriculum, at least a fragment of it, teachers should be aware when they're dealing with pupils and students. They should have some basic knowledge to know that this person, the way he's behaving, he needs attention or she needs attention instead of caning, or ostracizing that person. If mental health education is brought lower to the secondary schools and maybe the junior secondary schools, it will make this place a better. People will be diagnosed earlier, they will be treated, and they will live a normal life. It is very important. We've been able to advocate for the mental health bill. Now let's do this advocacy of bringing education into the system concerning mental health.
Now, Kofi, how do you typically commemorate a day like this, World Mental Health Day? Do you,
Every year I write a piece. I'm a writer as well. So every year I write a piece on mental health. And I think that is also a form of education. That is how I think today I'll send you my piece for this year's on mental health day. That's what I do for now.
Amazing. And we'd certainly love to get a copy of that so we can read about it. Mental health is something that is very dear to us here at 3FM 92.7. Kofi, thank you so much for sharing some of your journey with us. It's not something that everybody living with a mental health condition is able to freely and openly discuss, because as we've talked about this morning, the stigma is still very much rife in our part of the world. So final words from you, and then we'll come back to Anita and Michael in the studio.
Mental health illness is just one of the normal invented common diseases that can affect anybody on earth. So people should understand that and stop the stigmatization. When you do the stigmatization, people will not come out to talk about it. People will not want to find solutions to it. Let us stop it. Let us be educated on this, and let us support people with mental health illness.
Fantastic, Kofi. Thank you so much for your time this morning. And again, Kofi is an individual living with bipolar mood disorder. We're still in the studio with Michael and Anita. They are Zen riders, and on November 1st, they're going from Accra to Tamale, and Tamale back to Accra. They're hoping to do this in 10 days. Along the way, they'll be educating us on issues concerning mental health. They've got resource personnel who will be doing that. Of course, Michael and Anita here, also very well equipped to share their stories, their tips, and their tricks as well. Have you got sponsors that are joining you on this expedition? who's helping you put this together?
So we are on the sponsorship drive now.
Okay.
So we have Kumfi, juice. They're assisting. We have.
At least you have some chill juice on there.
I know,
so-
right? Yeah, they're actually sponsoring. They're
On
actually
the
providing through and through. They're sponsoring.
Amazing.
the juice through and through.
You guys have space for some more Zen riders?
Yeah, after you train for 1 year, yeah.
I could be a proficient rider, Michael. We don't know that. I might need just 1 or 2 days.
Okay.
I mean, in fact, I don't even know how to ride a bike. So let me not get ahead of myself. Okay, so
Yeah,
Confuse
we
on
have
board.
My Life Insurance.
Okay.
They're also helping Allianz Life, Impact Life. So those are the insurance companies. I think Star Life is also assisting. And then we have Oredo Basics, the massage. So they're going to go with us to massage us every day.
Okay.
Yeah, and then today, later in the afternoon, we're going to go to Kodebu Psychiatric Department
Okay.
to appreciate the staff and do some donations there as well.
Amazing.
So we're actually, putting out a call for sponsors because obviously this requires a lot of resources, be it cash or kind. So anybody who gets to hear these stories and is impressed by what we are doing and they believe in the cause, they can reach out to us, zenriders.com. Or on our social media handles, and then we can pick up the conversation.
Amazing. So it's zenriders.com and we can get more information. Rider, is it Rider with
Double R.
Yeah.
Rider with double R. So
Okay.
Zenrider, no S. Zenrider.com.
Zen Riders.
Zenriders.com. And also on the socials, we can find you if we search Zen Riders, again with double R. What are you hoping to achieve once this is all said and done and you've come back with the massage and the juice and all the knowledge you've shared?
I think the most important thing is we want people to know that success and happiness in life is a choice. And they need to dream big and put in the effort, because the moment you have a big goal and you're like what we are doing, we have a big audacious goal. Every day we are training physically. So once you start taking care of your physical activities, the mental follows, and you're in tune with your emotions, you're doing your morning devotions and things like that. On a daily basis, you get to reset. So no matter what hit you take during the day, the following morning you're going to get a reset. But because people don't do these things like physical activity, reading and acquiring knowledge and checking how they're feeling and doing their morning devotions, then whatever situation they find themselves in keeps on prolonging and deepening, and then becomes. So we're trying to actually do what we call the prevention. We want to focus on the prevention bit by using motivation and inspiration. You understand? And then so that way we leave the hardcore stuff for the experts to do. But right now what's happening is that a lot of people are ignoring things that could be done to prevent. They get declining into that state.
Amazing. We know prevention is always better, than cure. Anita, are you ready? November 1st. Accra, Tamale, and back.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff, guys. We're following in on the journey. I think what you're doing is incredible, and I hope you're able to reach and touch as many people and as many lives as possible. We desperately need this information, and people like you that are motivated, who can do their riding for us, will support you from the air-conditioned studio. So, Moncombra.
Thank you so much.
I've been speaking
Thank
this
you.
morning with Anita Solomon, a member of Zen Riders, and founder Mr. Michael Amankwa, also Zen Riders. Check them out on the socials, Zen Riders, double R, and also zenriders.com. Final words, Michael?
Live your best life.
Live
Smart.
your best life. Thank you so much. And again, a happy World Mental Health Day to all of us.
Love it. Say no to stigmatization against the persons with mental health conditions, because they are also creation